Hello guys, long time no see in this realm. Legitimately, I have my lip piercings back. That's how long it's been since, well, it hasn't been that long. This stuff happens in timely manners and stuff. Anyway, today we're going to be discussing the astral underworld per usual, but I will be discussing the black door. The last time I was on here in this realm, I was discussing the red door, I believe. So yeah. And when I was discussing the red door, I had stated that I might, my stutter just activated, Jesus. I had stated that the next door that I was going to be discussed might be the green door, but the reason why I'm pivoting to the black door is definitely spirit-led, simply because recently I've been thinking about other colors. And I'm like, well, I know there's not any new doors with the colors on it. I think these doors are within the black door. Because if you think about it, black is not a color, it's the absence of color. So it can be all colors. So the colors I were having in my head were yellow for some reason. And this is not the first time I've had the color yellow when I was speaking about the black door. When I did the first episode of the black door, I actually was discussing the color yellow for some reason and why that was significant. So I feel like the people who are traveling within the black door are experiencing some type of solar plexus awakening. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna keep walking as I talk. Stay with me if you can. But for the people who are wandering around the black door, remember I did state in this door that these are the people who I've activated their day walking ability, so you guys can daydream, you know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to be asleep to go in this door. All right, so the reason why yellow was so significant to this door, even though it's a black door, is simply because within this door, I feel like there is some sort of path you can take. Obviously, there's multiple paths. You're in the astral plane. There's not a lot of, there's structure, but the structure is way different down there, you know? Anyway, so, oh, it's funny. Sorry. There's a sign that says slow down, kids playing. And the sign is black and yellow. Anyway, but I feel like, yeah. So down the path you're going towards in this black door, subconsciously in the astral underworld, you're going to have some sort of solar plexus awakening. And yeah, I think that's all Spirit wanted me to say. So I'm going to continue guiding you guys down there. For some odd reason, I'm at a blank to what we were discussing in the last episode of the Black Door. And that is very odd because my brain literally gets triggered to remember almost everything left off on each episode. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank, which I could probably correlate to that maybe people actually getting lost or stuck in some sort of internal void. That could definitely be true. Sorry, I just found this like block on the floor. Anyway, yeah, I feel like there's like an internal void that's going on with the collective right now. The ones that the ones that can daydream. There are perks, obviously, to being able to really daydream and being a real true daydreamer, but there are also things that can be a nuisance. Like if you say you're in school right now, like you go to college or whatever, or you work a 9 to 5. It is not very conducive to be daydreaming during these times, because sometimes, I'm not saying we can't control when we daydream, but sometimes it can be automatic, and then we catch ourselves in a daydream. I'm not talking about daydreaming like as in fantasy. I'm talking about daydreaming as in astral travel. Remember that. We catch ourselves traveling in the daytime when we're actually in places that we're not supposed to be doing that, because we're supposed to be present in that moment, or supposed to be working in the 3D, but our astral body or our mind is going in the 5D, 4D, 6D, 7D, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's definitely what Spirit wants me to touch on, is knowing when and where it is conducive to be traveling within this black door, because black doors can be tricky. Voids can be tricky. Your shadow can be tricky. I honestly think, obviously, all these doors are from the underworld, which is obviously attached to your shadow. But this is the black door, so I feel like this is the ultimate door that really will trigger a lot of shadow work within you all. I'm at an end. I'm at a stop right now, so I'm gonna just turn back around. Anyway, let me slow down my thoughts a little bit. I do want to say that it is okay to daydream in places that you quote unquote shouldn't, but you also should be aware, because sometimes that can affect your 3D life. So say you're daydreaming a little bit too hard and you're not conscious of it, you could get in trouble with higher authorities in the 3D realm, like your boss or your teacher or wherever, you know what I'm saying? And that's very unfortunate, because we still have to remember that, yes, we're doing all this spirit work while we're still living on earth, but we're still living on earth, so we have to make sure that we remember that, especially as daydreamers, because our mind can go so many places at once at a time where it's not convenient. And for anybody going through this right now, I definitely feel for you, because I definitely go through that, and I've gone through that since a child, you know, like just going to places that just take me out of the current reality I'm in. And sometimes, if you're not careful, like, I always want to make sure I'm putting out as many disclaimers as I can about astral travel and just being a spiritual, or being aware of yourself, of being a spiritual being in general. Like, psychosis is a real thing. I want to discuss this very lightly, though I don't want to scare anybody, because yeah, but if you don't know, I have been through spiritual psychosis, so this is why I feel comfortable enough to talk about this. But basically, you still have to be careful with not taking care of yourself mentally and spiritually, because if you don't take care of yourself mentally and spiritually, your astral body, your mind can go wander in places where you don't necessarily belong, or that can affect your light body in ways where it can be either irreparable or it can just damage it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yes, I'm guiding you guys today, but this video is really just more of a warning, and also it's more of a, please take care of your light body. Please take care of your astral body while you're going in these spaces, because yes, I want you guys to explore new horizons. I want you guys to discover parts of yourself that other people are not even thinking to go, because they are so trapped in the 3DS. I want you guys to explore and discover all those a part of you, you know what I'm saying? And within the collective, I'm not promoting you guys to be docile or to not do that. My thing is, I want everyone to still be careful when astral projecting, if you decide to do so, with even meditating, like even just little things, you know what I'm saying? There's a plus and negative to everything we do in this life, not just spiritual things. Like, say if you drive a car, obviously if I'm talking about cars, I'm going to tell you the negative sides of having and owning a vehicle. I'm going to say, yes, it can get you from place A to place B, but there's one fact that you cannot control other people on the road. So you could possibly get into a car accident and it won't even be your fault. Oh my gosh, that thing paused. But the last thing I was saying, you could possibly get into a car accident and it won't even be your fault. So what I'm saying is, your body, or your astral body, can technically get into an accident that necessarily wasn't your fault, but you still have to take accountability because you decided to put yourself on the spiritual road. And I want everyone to be accountable for their own body and their own sovereignty and their own, astral body and everything, and their own journey. But I also want everybody to be careful. I want everybody to be careful, because if you're not ready for certain things, don't force it. If you're not prepared for certain things, don't engage in it, you know what I'm saying? There's always a divine timing of things, and sometimes when we force things that are not meant to be at that moment in time, you can do more damage than good. Like, I'm not saying you aren't an advanced soul because you aren't ready for certain things at that moment in time. The waiting period could literally be 24 hours. I don't care how long it is. But you should wait on God. You should wait on your higher self. You should wait on your spiritual team to tell you when to go sometimes, or all the time. Because if you're not doing that, you're not trusting in your spiritual team and trusting in your inner knowing as to when to go and when to stop and when to wait and when to breathe, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, you can end up in places where you can be mentally confused, spiritually confused, and the last place you want to be is confused. If you believe in the devil, which that's a whole nother conversation, but let's just say the devil for a sake because it's easier to kind of comprehend in the brain. If you end up in a confusing energy that you can't get out of, or that is like, oh my gosh, you know how easy it is for the devil to play with you, or the devil to trick you out of your spot, or the devil to have you in places where you don't want to be in, or places that you don't deserve or need to be in? So what I'm saying is, be careful. That is the whole entire lesson of today, of my day walkers, of my daydreamers, of my day travelers, who can see beyond the matrix with their eyes open and with their eye open. Be careful. Just like in the movie The Matrix. I hate referring to that because it can be kind of corny in my brain, but it's easier for you guys to understand. Just like the movie The Matrix. Once you're unplugged, man, there's still rules. Like, yes, we are rule breakers and benders, but there are certain laws, spiritual laws we have to abide by to stay safe for ourselves and the community, because we have to take care of, if you want to take care of a collective, if you want to be sovereign, if you want to be you have to still make sure you're abiding by certain laws to protect you. Like, you know what rules you can break in this life, you know what I'm saying? But there are just certain things that I don't, and God don't, and your spiritual team don't, and that you even know you should not be breaking, simply because you know damn well you don't want to suffer that consequence. There's always a cause and effects to everything. So yes, you can do whatever the fuck you want this lifetime because you have free will, but baby, I don't want to hear no complaining when I don't want to hear no complaining when there's a adverse effect to the decisions you decide to make in this lifetime because you wanted to be fast or you wanted to be advanced, or, you know what I'm saying? If you are advanced, you are advanced, and just believe and know that you don't have to be so, oh my gosh, eager to just jump into everything all at once. And your body will do that naturally. Sometimes we do things all at once because that's what our disposition is and that's what we're prepared to do. But sometimes it's not always like that. There's up periods, there's down periods, there's expanse, there's times where you expand, there's times where you contract, there's times where you are moving, there's times where you are still. There are still moments in time where you have to really move with grace, integrity, and patience, and safety. You have to move with some type of safety, but you'll know when you have to move in urgency. I feel like when you feel like you're being rushed, that is a devil energy, you know what I'm saying? Because why are we rushing? Time is an illusion. So if you're aligned, and if you're taking care of everything you need to take care of, and you're going back to your roots as far as you doing your spiritual cleanses, you're just being spiritually hygienic, taking care of your basic needs, you know, all that stuff in the physical and the spiritual and mental, everything else will fall in place. Just calm down, slow down, everything will come. You just have to meet it. You have to be aligned with everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Everything kind of crosses paths. You'll know when to catch something. Stop trying to force it. I love you guys, and safe travels.